Welcome to the Amazing Clarks podcast on the Black Love Podcast Network. My name is Anthony Clark.
And I'm Melanie Clark.
And we are the Amazing Clarks. We're both award-winning certified life and love coaches and a husband and wife duo that have been coaching together as a team for 22 years and that have been passionately in love for 30. They call us the Amazing Clarks because we empower people to live amazing lives.
And you are joining us here on our Love Revolution, where we discuss ideas and concepts that help us love ourselves and each other more, because we need a lot more love in the universe.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
So today, people, we got a great show. We're going to talk about ghosting. And not only just ghosting, like, are you ghosting people? Have you been ghosted before? What should you do about it if you get ghosted?
Right.
What should you do if you're ghosting people? But before we jump to that main topic, we want to catch up with the Clarks. So, babe, how you been? How's your week been?
My week is going great. We have some new systems in our business, and we have been working really well together, and this makes me really happy.
Yay, very good, very good. What makes you happy about it?
We have a schedule. We have scheduled tasks. We're completing tasks, and we're doing them together, and that we're on the same page. Yeah. And we're reading the same book. Not only are we on the same page, but we're reading the same book, and that makes me happy.
This is important.
This is important.
This is very, very important.
How about you? How's your week going?
Overall, it's been a good week.
Yeah?
It's been a good week. It's getting back on track again. You know, we've been gone for a while. We had a lot going on.
Yes.
And I kind of felt like we fell behind in our projects and work. And so it feels good to get back in the game and catch up again and start coaching clients and moving the ball forward.
Yeah.
And, you know, to me, I get really motivated to move the ball forward because the ultimate goal is to eventually get back to Ghana. And so that's my motivation.
Back to
and
Ghana.
So it feels good to be back to work.
Yes, me too.
Yes.
Excited to reach those goals.
Yes.
And I love feeling productive.
I agree.
It makes me have a great day when I feel productive. And we're doing a lot of coaching, which is great. I always enjoy coaching. I love hearing people's stories. I love helping them get past their challenges. And I grow from coaching. So I'm really enjoying our coaching schedule.
You know, the other thing that was good about this week, too, was that it started off a little rocky for us, just trying to get back on the grind and all. And working is good, but you got to enjoy yourself.
Yes.
You know, you got to take time out to
play
and reconnect. And so we had a chance to do that this weekend, and that really helped me. I really, really needed that.
Yeah, me too.
And for us to just not be business partners, not to be, you know, coaches, just to be us and just to hang out and go on a date.
Lovers and friends.
Yeah. So that
giving more attention to being lovers and friends.
Yeah,
I agree. That's been really nice part of my week too, or the weekend.
Definitely. Perfect time to jump into the main topic.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and let you lead on this.
You know, I've wanted to talk about ghosting for a minute. And one of the reasons I want to talk about it is I hear from so many of our single clients that being ghosted has affected their dating experience. Like, it's created a lot of insecurity and it really affects their confidence and their ability to continue on the journey.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't think that people realize how devastating being ghosted can be. And there's a reason for that. There's been studies that when you ignore someone, it is damaging to their nervous system, to their brain, and the brain sends adrenaline and the amygdala gets activated as if they were being abused. And so people think, I just didn't want to talk to that person, or I wasn't attracted, or it's not a good fit for me. Whatever your reason, you have to recognize, and this is why I want to talk about it, that there's another person on the other side of that. And as hard as it is to say to someone, I don't feel like we're a good fit, the chemistry wasn't there for me, I've met someone else, I want to continue on my dating journey, so I'm not ready to, go on a second date with you. Those are hard things to say to people because we don't want to hurt them. But what I want to get across in this podcast, ghosting people is harder on them. And you're only going to be uncomfortable for a second of sending that text. I have clients that have been affected for years from ghosting. Years. And so I don't know if the ghosters, I guess that's what we'll call them, I don't know if the ghosters understand that. And so I just want to help you understand like how much it affects people. And whenever my clients get ghosted, I always ask them this question because we're law of attraction. Do you ghost people? And guess what? Most of them do.
Yeah, they do.
Most of them do.
Yeah.
So it's like this unspoken, unwritten thing that happens in online dating and no one's addressing it, but it's really damaging to the people who are dating. And I know for men especially, they want to avoid rejection. They want to avoid conflict. They want to avoid pain. And so they'll just be like, all right, I'm just going to cut it off and move it forward. So do you have any tips for men of how they can communicate that they don't want to move forward in the dating process without just ghosting people and not saying anything or answering them anymore, blocking them?
You know, based on my experience coaching men, is that men do it a little differently. So there's different reasons men ghost women.
Okay.
So if it's just like a date, a one-time date we go out on,
Right.
and things don't work out, most men feel like we don't owe you anything.
Oh,
And
okay.
so there's no reason to come back if things don't work out, if I don't like you, if I'm not feeling you, or something you did turned me off. There's no reason to come back and explain. I think that's more so women are a lot more sensitive when it comes to ghosting than men are. Now, if it's a relationship where the person's like a couple of weeks and the person bounces, then I think that's a different scenario.
Right.
And because you showed up and all of a sudden you just disappear. And when most men do that, one, either they found something better.
Right.
And once again, they feel like I don't owe you anything.
Right.
It's like they can cut off their conscience and just move on. And I'm just being honest, just telling the truth. And speaking from personal experience, I've done that when I was dating.
What?
Yeah, I've done that. My
You
name is
weren't
Anthony.
on the internet. How did you ghost people without the internet?
No, we did it in real world ghosting.
You did real world ghosting?
My name is Anthony, and I'm an ex-ghoster.
Oh, Anthony.
Yeah, and
Let's get a list out. You need to call these women and tell them you're married to me.
I did it for that reason. Then I did it because a lot of times it was just like, I just want sex. I just want to play, and that's it. But then I got to a point where I did it to people and people I cared about.
Right.
I didn't want a relationship, but I cared about them. And I saw how devastated she was.
Right.
And that made me stop and go, whoa, wait a minute. Why don't I just let them know if I don't want to be with them or I don't want to, I can just be honest and let them know. But it never really crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Up until that point.
Yeah.
And so then I changed my game. And then it was just, I went to the honesty policy.
Yeah.
And I, even up front when I was dating women, I'd tell them like, hey, you know what? I have no commitments to you. We're going to be honest with each other. You have no commitments to me. We're hanging out. If things work out, great. But let's just be honest with each other. No matter what's going on, I could deal with it as long as you're honest.
Yes,
so,
I know. I got that talk in our dating life. Yes, you had
right.
that talk
and
with me. But I appreciated it.
I didn't ghost you.
I appreciated
right.
it.
Because I had changed by then.
Right.
I matured in dating.
Yeah.
And I learned that way, guys, it's so much better because when all is said and done, that woman is a person. She has a heart. She has feelings and emotions. And like Melanie said, when you do that, it can really cause some serious insecurities and lack of confidence. And then women tend to get really angry and untrusting, and then the next guy pays for it.
Yeah.
And so honesty is definitely the best way to go with that.
Yeah. You know,
but I've been ghosted too. And I've been ghosted when I was dating, and me personally, it didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
It was easy to just be like, whatever.
You're a rock, Anthony. You can let anything roll off your back. But women, especially women who want to get married and women who are really committed to finding a partner, it's confusing to them. They don't know what happened. So they spend a lot of time and what I see a lot of women do is they turn on themselves. Something's wrong with me. It's this, it's that.
And they go to worst case scenarios.
Yeah, I'm too old. I'm not desirable. I'm not cute enough. And then it just starts to erode their self-esteem. So my suggestion for women, if you do get ghosted, and I've had a lot of my friends be like, I would never do that. I would recommend this. If someone ghosts you, reach out to them and say, what was the issue? Was there an issue with me? And see if you can get an answer, because it's getting the answer of what happened. And you could say, I can hear anything. I just don't like not knowing. So was there a problem? Did you meet someone else? Was the chemistry not there for you? It's just helpful for me because I'm always trying to get better and better in dating. And then I also encourage them to be honest with the guys. For women, a lot of it is about chemistry. I just didn't feel chemistry with him. And there's nothing wrong with saying the chemistry's not there for me. You are a lovely person. I wish you well on your dating journey, and communicating that I think would be really helpful, because we have to remember on online dating, you have thousands of choices, thousands. And sometimes it feels like these are not people. It's just a button and it's a click. But behind those buttons and those clicks are real people, and real people need information to grow. And ghosting does not communicate, and that growth cannot happen.
And I think another reason too, a lot of guys will do that, and women will do it too, is because they don't want the other person to try to convince them. Because women will tend to do that. So if a woman likes a guy and the guy ghosts her, and then she reaches out, the conversation isn't going to usually be, why did you ghost me? It's going to be to complain. And even if he tells them
Babe,
why...
I'm coaching them. I'm telling them what to say. They're not going to say that no more.
and even if he's honest and tells why he's ghosting, a lot of times the woman will, try to convince him why he should change his mind.
Yes.
And it's like, what's the point of that?
Yeah. Don't do that, you guys.
I'm going to tell you no again. And so if he doesn't want it, he doesn't want it. And that works both ways for women too.
Yeah. So if you're not comfortable communicating, I recommend you just come to this conclusion. It was not a match. For some reason, it was not a match. And I trust the universe. And when something is not right for me, it goes away. When something is right for me, it comes to me. And so if you have that mentality and you come to that conclusion, you fill in the blank for yourself. You do have the ability to fill in the blank for yourself. And one of the things I find fascinating, a lot of times the people that are get ghosted, they weren't into that person anyway. That hits the ego a little bit, right? Like, I wasn't even into you that much, and then you ghosted me. Like, how dare you? You don't get to ghost me. I get to ghost you, right?
You don't quit me. I quit you first.
You don't quit me. I quit you first. Yeah. So take ghosting with a grain of salt. And I know it feels awful, but literally it is not a match. And we teach law of attraction. The person that is going to be your partner is going to be a match to your vibration, to your desires. And those are very unique and very specific. And if someone isn't a match to that, they're going to feel it, or you're going to feel it, and then you're going to go your separate ways. So ladies and gentlemen, please do not turn on yourself. Don't make yourself something wrong with you because someone did not have the maturity and the cojones to communicate how the date went for them. Just keep it pushing.
So have you ever ghosted someone when you were dating?
No. I'm a communicator. Never.
So every person that you stopped seeing, you sat down with them and had a conversation about why?
No, I don't know that I sat down, but most of the time it ended with, I don't want to see you anymore. That's how it ended.
Respect that, right?
Like it was pretty straightforward. Like, I don't like the way you talk to me, or I don't think we're a good fit.
Have you ever been ghosted?
I was ghosted by you once.
Really?
Yes.
Really? When was this?
You forgot, see? When we were dating, and I was being a go-girl.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
and you didn't like that I was being so go-girl.
Right.
And so you stopped calling me, and you stopped taking my calls. And then I had told my friend Eric, and Eric saw you out and asked you, what's up with my girl? Why you stopped talking to Melanie?
Okay, gotcha. I remember that. Yeah, so what had happened was...
You think I forgot?
What had happened?
Everything.
Well, we've had this conversation before. What had happened was, even though we had our conversation about, you have the freedom to do what you want.
Yes.
In this one particular time, and I was still at the state where it was like, okay, we like each other, we're hanging out, we're dating, and we're feeling each other. But I was still recovering from my divorce,
right?
And I still had a lot of baggage with that when it came to women. I was not very trusting of women.
Yes.
And so one day you would just started going off about some guy you were seeing, and you had all this, and it was like, whoa, slow down with that. Where'd all that go girl stuff comes from? There's no need for that.
Because I'm an empowered woman. That's why.
And then when you were doing it like that, like it felt like you would throw throwing darts at me. And it was like, okay, she obviously feels some aggression or something here towards me, so I'm going to just back off. And so I backed off, but I backed off because I had my feelings hurt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you guys hear that? He got his feelings hurt. That's why he backed off.
But you had the right to be with the way you were. But it was like, okay, you have the right to be like that, but that did not feel good to me. So I'm going to just...
It was amazing, you guys. I was a go-girl.
I'm going to do the
I was like,
Michael
I do what I
Jackson
want.
back walk, the backslide thing, and just back out the picture.
But you know what was interesting about that is I had no idea that you felt that way. So when you ghosted me, I literally kept thinking like, what the heck happened?
Right.
Like, he's fly, like we get along good, we like the same things, he's hot, we're hot together, we enjoy, we've had great dates, and then he just disappeared. And my guy friend was like, you had to have done something, Melanie, because he wouldn't just stop talking to you. And I was like, go do recon for me, Eric. Find out what he thinks that I did for him to do that. And when he came back and said that you said I was being a go-girl, for those of you who don't know what a go-girl is, it's a woman that is kind of aggressive, and she's like, you go girl, but everything's about her. It's an attitude.
It's the attitude. Like, I don't need no man, and I don't need this, and I don't need that. And it's like, whoa.
But in all honesty,
but you have every right to be like that.
To be fair, at that time, I didn't need a man. I wanted one. I didn't need it. And so I felt very empowered, and you took that as I was throwing darts at you when I wasn't. I was going off of, I'm very direct. So we had a conversation and you said, we're both dating other people. We're free to do that. We don't need to lie to each other. We could be 100% honest. And I thought, from my perspective, you guys, here goes, we don't always live in the same reality. From my perspective, I could see you were dating other women. I'd go to clubs and I'd see them lined up to talk to you. I'd see them handing you phone numbers. When I stayed the night at your house, your answering machine was click, 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 and all night, even though the volume was turned down. Right. So I believed we were free to be completely honest. So those conversations, from my perspective, I was just being honest.
Right. But it wasn't about the honesty.
For you.
I mean, right. It wasn't about the dating.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't it.
It was the attitude.
It was the attitude about it. It was almost like, it felt like you were saying like, it just was like, that didn't feel right. That's not coming off right. So but look what happened. And look, so this is great for you guys to hear this. This is our ghosting story. What happened when I made a point to find out what happened and communicate with him, then he got to explain to me how he felt, and I gave myself an attitude adjustment. And just by being able to tweak my attitude, look what happened. We fell in love, we got married, we have a family. That could have ended our relationship. Oh, yeah.
It could have completely ended it by one little perspective. And that's my point in ghosting. You don't give each other the opportunity to communicate what you want and what you need. And if something's off and that's not working for you, it could have been a one-off. It could have been that person having a bad day, or you perceiving them not answering your text right away, like you're not a priority when the mama in the hospital. I don't know. Right. But if that communication doesn't happen, you don't get the opportunity to grow. And another thing that I feel that ghosting prevents in dating is when you get in a relationship and you're dating consistently, or you get married, you're gonna have to be able to have tough conversations. And dating is where you practice that. So if you're just cutting bait and running, by the time you get in a relationship, you have not got the growth and the experience of having tough conversations without this huge emotional response. And you're also preventing the people that you're dating from having that experience. So as you can tell, I'm very passionate about ghosting. I see how hurtful it could be. And I just want to say to the people dating, you're really missing out on an opportunity for some growth by communicating. You really are. And a possible match, because even though he perceived me that way, I listened to him. I was like, okay, that's a thing. It wasn't my thing, but that was a thing. And he felt this way, and I really like him. So let me pay attention to how I'm talking to him. Let me pay attention to my attitude. And I was able to adjust myself, not because I thought something was wrong with me, but it did not fit in. My communication was not working with how he communicated.
Right. And that was during the cursing stage too.
Yeah, I was cursing a lot.
Like you were just
I miss those days.
I don't give a F.
I just
and it was like,
cuss
whoa,
up a storm,
whoa.
do what I want. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
but again, growth, right? Because you told me,
right.
like,
and even on my part, to, having an honest conversation and being real about what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
because
great.
I did like you, but it was like, that's why it threw me off. Like, whoa, where did that come? Why is she?
I just want to say, Anthony, thank you so much for having the cojones to tell me that my attitude was bothering you and giving me the opportunity to adjust it. Because had you not done that, we would not be sitting here doing a podcast. We may have never gotten married. Aren't you glad that you had that conversation?
We were meant to be, so we would figure it out.
Oh, okay. We would have come. We would have found each other in another town, another time, another day.
It might not be till like 80 or 90, but either way, it was going to happen.
Yes.
So if somebody gets ghosted and they're dealing with it, what would be the remedy for them to get over, to recover? And let's say they can't have a conversation with the person because the person's no longer around. How does that work?
First of all, if you understand the reason that it's so painful, it's because you don't have information. So your brain wants to keep searching for the information and then it wants to turn on you. I think it's really important that you have like almost a script where you fill in the blanks for yourself. And my coaching tip for people that are dealing with this is fill in the blanks with how energy works. This is not my person. They are not a match to me. If they were, they would have moved towards me. They would have communicated any issues. But the fact that they could not do that, they are not my person. When I get married, I want a partner that knows how to communicate, problem solve, and move past uncomfortable situations. This person obviously does not know how to do that or want to do that. It's not a priority for them. That's a sign they are not my person. I'm going to keep it moving. That's what I would recommend, that you fill in the blank. Because when we don't have answers, our brain is automatically going to fill in the blank with some type of dialogue, but you have the ability to create what that dialogue is, and that is going to be in alignment with continuing the dating experience. If you make it something's wrong with me, or he was so amazing and hot and wonderful and I'm missing out, then you're going to be miserable. And you have to see it for what it really is. A lot of women, but he was hot, but he's not, because he does not know how to communicate and he's not willing to put in the effort. Right. And so that would be my tip on it.
My tip would be, because like I said, I've been ghosted in dating. And when it happened to me, at first, of course, it hurts your feelings, like especially for someone that you like. But my perspective was, okay, I attracted this a couple of times. Who attracted it? I did.
Right.
And with the law of attraction, you have to take responsibility for everything you attract, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the ghosting.
Not easy.
And so it made me self-reflect. So instead of beating myself up, I became more aware of myself.
Yeah.
It was like, let me pay attention to what I'm doing. Let me pay attention to details. Let me pay attention to how I'm speaking. Let me pay attention to my breath. Let me pay attention to how I'm dressed.
Right.
Let me pay attention to my sexual techniques.
Let me grow.
I went and analyzed myself, and I tried to find any places that I can improve.
Right.
And once I did that, I did find areas that I could improve that were blind spots that I didn't even see. And then I noticed the change, and I started attracting people that didn't ghost me. So I would start with that. Then secondly, my attitude about it was pretty much EIP. Everything is perfect. There are no accidents. There are no mistakes. Everything that's unfolding is unfolding for my greater good. So if this person it doesn't feel me and they bounce, that just means, like you said, that person's not a match for me.
Yeah.
That's not the one for me. And I'm okay with it. And so when I dated with a very light perspective. My perspective was, nobody owes me anything. I don't owe anybody anything. And I'm going to flow and just play it by ear. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, that is not meant to be. So it's kind of leaving it to the universe. Yeah. And leaving it to fate. And it worked, because eventually I attracted you and it worked out.
Yes, it did.
That's what I'd say. Start self-reflecting first, and then just get to the point of acceptance and realize that it's happening for a reason. And it's for your greater good. The universe is trying to move the other people out the way so that the person that's for you could find you. Yeah. You could find each other.
Ooh, I like that perspective. That feels good. And it really just is all perspective, you guys. And I'll share this perspective that will maybe help those of you ghosters who don't feel comfortable asking. Realize these are your sisters and brothers looking for love, and you don't want to damage anybody on that journey. And so you need to be aware of that because of law of attraction. Be the change you want to see in dating. Be a great dater. Be a great communicator. Pursue the people you're interested in. Communicate with the ones that you're not, because you are literally putting your energy into the dating pool. And if you communicate clearly, you're putting healthy people back in. Not everyone's going to be for you, but there's someone out there for them. And so we don't have to go into dating with this desperation of next to next, next. It's really easy to ghost people when you're always looking for something better. Take the time to get to know people, communicate. You are practicing relationship skills, and this will actually make your dating experience better and help you attract your partner faster. That is your carrot to do it. You can do it. So that would be my recommendation.
So don't hit and run.
Don't hit and run.
That's right. Hang out.
So thanks for talking to me about ghosting. I've wanted to do this for a long time. Appreciate you, Anthony.
I appreciate you back. So good job. Good job.
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad we know how to communicate and tell each other what we don't like and what we do like.
I agree.
It's important.
That's right. I'd hate it if you go. I don't want to be ghosted.
No, I won't ghost you.
All right. So once again, great show, people. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yes.
We gave it to you. Now what you going to do with it?
See you next time.
See you next time.